Adeleke Akinpelu, Principal Partner, SMC Professional Services, and also Director, SMC Institute. I'm sharing my thoughts on effective management of projects across industries. Now, project management skill is a key managerial skill that is needed and is useful across industry and across the different sectors of the economy. Then also what we need to understand is that project consists of series of activities and tasks. All this together combine to make a project. Then we also need to understand that project could be undertaken in the service delivery sector, and it could also be undertaken in the product delivery section. Now, different researches that have been conducted both in developed and developed countries have come to the conclusion that over 70% of projects that is undertaken in the private sector, in the public sector, and also in the non-profit sector of the economy often fails to achieve their strategic intent, their objectives, and often fails to meet the expectations of the stakeholders. Why do projects fail? There are diverse reasons why projects fail. Some of these include poor definition of goals. When goals are poorly defined, why do we need to undertake a project if that is not clearly or well stated from the outset? That project often fails. Then also the issue of quality. When projects are poorly conducted or poorly constituted or poorly undertaken, then also the issue of poor coordination of project. Now, in coordination of project, there are different segments. All these segments needs to be well coordinated. One of the ways of achieving an adequate or a robust coordination of project activity is by establishing what we call a PMO, a project management office. A project management office is manned to control and also to coordinate the various activities in a project. Then also when we have unclear project ownership, this is often the case in public sector projects, most especially in the developing part of the world, where the ownership of project is not well stated. And also this is often the case in PPP projects, that is public-private partnership project. Then also what we need to understand that the essence of undertaking project management, why we need to manage project effectively, is that one, we want to complete the project on time. One, we want to complete the project to specification. Then also we want to complete the project to quality. Then above all, that the project should be completed to meet the expectation of the stakeholder. One thing we need to clearly understand that if you complete a project on time, if you complete a project to specification, if you complete a project to cost, if that project is not completed to meet the expectation of the stakeholders, those that will use the project or those that will consume the services or the product, the project is not yet successfully delivered. Now that takes us to the steps or the process of managing project effectively. One of the first steps is to define the project. What is the needs? What is the objectives? What are the assumptions? Then in terms of the project ownership, then we also need a detailed plan. Detailed plan in terms of initial, detailed plan in terms of schedule, detailed plan in terms of risk, detailed plan in terms of communication. Now all these combined together give us what we have as a detailed project management plan. Now in this project we have to undertake risk analysis. How do we manage risk that will crop up in the course of the project? Then also we need project schedule. How do we schedule the various activities that we have in our projects using different project management tools such as Gantt chart, PAT, that is program evaluation review techniques, and also critical path analysis. So all these combined together give us a detailed project plan which sets the course for the project. Then we also move on to the implementation. Implementation is now the stage where we are now putting into place the various plans that we have initially set out at the detailed planning stage. Now that takes us to the stage of monitoring and control. We have to ensure that the plans that have been set are undertaken in sequence, and if need be, that we need to revise or we need to make readdress some areas of the project at this stage of monitoring and controlling the project amendment is undertaken. Then again, one thing that needs to be to be taken cognizance of is that the project monitoring and control stage oversee the various processes from the initial objectives to the detailed plan, also to the project execution. So it's like having a bird eye view over the whole process of the project. Then the last stage is the closeout, the project closeout. The project needs to be concluded. Now the approval of the client, either in the public, the private, or the non-private sector, needs to be sought where we close out the project. And also, what we need to understand really is the aspect of lesson learned. Lesson learned needs to be documented. What is lesson learned? Lesson learned is what has been the experience so far in the course of the project. What has been the ups, what has been the downs, what are those things that we have gained that will be useful in further implementation of projects of similar characteristics or similar features. Now, all these combined together will ensure that a project, either in the public, in the private, or in the non-profit sector, is effectively delivered on time, to schedule, to cost, to quality, and above all, to meet the expectations of the stakeholders. Thank you for listening.